Are you ready? No! I said, are you ready?
What is up, mi gente? It's your boy Elias, host of Plead the Sith. Hope y'all are ready for a show. It's more wrestling focused. I have my boy Mike Mayer on today's show. He's our Down for the Count affiliate. If you joined into some RX space, you probably heard him rambling, going up against your favorites. You know, contradicting everything I said, contradicting everything Leha says. So there's some wrestling beef there. Mike is the heel to my baby face, but you know that's my boy. So y'all give a loud welcome to my boy Mike Mayer. Come on in, bro.
What is up, man? How we
What
doing?
is up? What is up,
from
bro?
from the West Coast to the Central Time Zone? And this is like a year in the making. Thanks for having me, man. Like
Matt,
this is really cool.
Matt, thanks for taking time out of your day to join us out here. Yeah, some backyard baseball for y'all. I kind of had to have Mike break down the time difference because your boy's not so
Dude, I've been
time
in
savvy.
I've been in radio for so long. I've worked across like 3 different time zones, so it's like I get time zones mixed up. Sometimes I forget. Yeah, Central's 2, and then East is 3. So like, yeah, I when the invite was coming through, yeah, can you do 7:30? Yes, yeah. Is it Central? And then I was like, okay, 5:30. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, bro, you tell me whatever time is over there. As long as you're on my side, that's all that matters. So our chat is powered by MCS General Contracting. We got the head honcho over there at MCS in the chat. My boy Chris Leha already insults me. Sith is a little slow. You know what? It's better to be slow.
Leha off the
here.
top rope already, man.
Man, so speaking of off the top rope, Mike, go ahead and plug your stuff, bro. Off the top rope, that's your wrestling.
Yeah, my wrestling seg and Off the Mic Sports Network, OT Mike Sports on Twitter. But yeah, Off the Mic Sports Network is where I do all my sports and wrestling content. Been more wrestling focused, obviously. A lot of heavy wrestling topics going on because wrestling just never stops, and sports is just we're just kind of in the dog days of summer. So yeah, Off the Top Rope is what we do over there. And
so to go from off the top rope to those hate comments that you have in there, bro, you can't get away from those AEW fucks, bro.
Oh my god,
y'all don't know we have a group chat slowly based on wrestling. It's called heel to the face, to play off the bad guys. Heel, which is also kick to the baby face. It's kind of me and Leia put that together. But Mike's always showing us how he's going into war against these motherfuckers from AEW, these weird cuck fans, bro. It's weird.
Yeah. It's just and your boy Swiss, I know interacts with a lot of them too, and it's my thing. And people think that I'm like this, I'm preaching like tribalism because that's a big thing, like AEW versus WWE. Listen, I want both companies to do well. Like TNA had a great show this weekend, but everything has to be everything has to be a war, and everything has to be like a battle. And if these people would stop picking these petty battles, this is why CM Punk has become such a divisive figure, because these people can't get the fuck over what CM Punk did when he went out the door there. And it's just gotten to the point where, like, they get almost 30,000 people in 30,000 people in a baseball stadium in Texas a week or so ago, and they're still talking about CM Punk. Like, it's just, dude, why does this need to be a war? Just focus on being who you are. And then the more times that you just like try to poke things at WWE and say, oh, ha, they only have 40,000 seats sold for each night of SummerSlam. It's like, what? Focus on yourself, man. And it's fostered because of their owner, Tony Khan, just, can't get over the fact that, CM Punk burned him, and now he's doing much better in another place. And it's just trickled down to their fan base. So that's really my root. That's really the root of why I get on AEW people a lot, is because they just never shut up about like stuff that they should just focus on their own company. It's
And so the way I see it from the outside looking in, right? I mean, I have no player in this game, bro. I don't watch AEW more so because of the time it comes on. I'm either coming out of work and I want to spend time with my kid and my wife, opposed to adding another day to wrestling. You could only take so much men in
Yeah.
tights before you start getting looks from your wife.
Right. Right. Yeah. Right.
She's
Yeah.
like, she asked me the other day why I had her put on that red glove that Roman Reigns wears. No, I'm fucking with you. I did not. But no, man, the tribalism's crazy. It's like my algorithm on Twitter is very wrestling based. You just see a lot of people going at one another saying
Right. Yeah.
T outdid AEW, AEW outdid NXT, and it's like, why can't y'all just enjoy the fucking product in itself? I remember a time before Twitter where wrestling was what it was, just a show and
Dude,
escape.
can you imagine what it would have been during the Monday Night Wars? Can you imagine what that would have been like with WCW and WWE back in like, the late 90s, early 2000s? Like the invasion and all that other shit. Like it would have been like that was like if you thought this is crazy right now, what's going on? Like WCW and WWE fucking hated each other. They fucking
Like
hated each other.
legitimately hated, to the point my favorite story is the fucking when Mankind won the title, bro. WCW tried to blow up their spot and it backfired on them. It had all the attention drawn to Monday Night Raw, and look what happened. You know, WCW is no longer around and WWE just ended up on top, and they're gonna remain on top. And that's not just
Mhm.
me being, how do you say it? I'm not being a WWE fanboy. It's just I enjoy their product a lot better. It's done a lot better. Earlier you mentioned TNA having a great event. Mike, be honest. I saw you.
Okay.
I saw your text.
Well, okay. Let me say this. Aside from the main event, and then obviously, the JC Jane call, it was a fun show. It was a fun show. The problem is, as I always say I say this on my show, I say this to a bunch of other people that I talk to when I talk wrestling. You're only as good as your main event. You're
Facts.
only as good as your main event. And that main event was lazily booked. It was the most obvious thing in the world. Trick was outside the ring and you knew he was going to come in and steal the pin. And it's the second year in a row that they've done this, where they had the easiest call in the world. They could have crowned Joe Hendry at Slammiversary last year. They could have crowned Mike Santana here, and they didn't do it in New York. And based off the way that show had went, there was a lot of goodwill in it. To have your two top champions be NXT people is certainly a choice. So it was, like I said, there was some production stuff here and there. TNA definitely did look very amateurish, but it was the most energy I've seen in TNA in almost 15 years. Like
Since the original AJ Style days, right?
yes, and AJ Styles is like, that's where I grew to love him, like back in the day. And hearing that old entrance music was great. So like there was doses of nostalgia. Like you had the Hardys, like Jeff Hardy climbing a freaking rope ladder. Like it was a very good balance. Like you had that kid Leon Slater win a match, only 20 years old, and it was really cool that AJ gave him the rub there at that point.
Pause.
And so it was a fine show, but it's like it wasn't, maybe if they would have stuck the landing there with Santana, it probably would have been remembered a lot better than it was. And there's a lot of theories out there as to why they went the way that they did. They're trying to get a television deal, and then this whole TNA, AEW, WWE thing. It's just good to have so much good wrestling with a lot of talented people working each other. But it's just like, you're seeing the faults in all three companies, at least the major ones. Like WWE even has issues. Like their TKO and their production side is kind of fucked. So, but yeah, all in all, like I said, I didn't hate TNA Slammiversary, but there was definitely some questionable decisions made on that show.
No, for sure. And I'm just going based off what you were telling me, because you were, raving and ranting in the group chat, saying, bro, they kind of shit the bucket when it came to the final match, right? The outcome just wasn't it. We got my boy Daniel Castro in here. If y'all need solar panel work, y'all go ahead and reach out to Daniel Castro of Castro Solar and Sons. Good, gives out a good product, and he's a family man, so you could trust his word, trust in everything he said. He says, what about local wrestling? Well, Castro, my local wrestling to me, I come from a city that's 4 miles wide, 4 miles long, so now we don't get too many stops here.
I mean,
But
the
Mike,
Texas local scene, man. You guys got some territory wrestling out there that's really really great. Like we had PWG out here in California, and I went to this had to have been like 15, 16 years ago. Actually, I actually might have watched Daniel Bryan's last independent match before he actually went to WWE. So
so we had the privilege of seeing Raquel Rodriguez. She stopped in our little hometown.
there you go.
I believe I have a picture with her somewhere. She wasn't going by that name, of course, but
Was
they
it
had
Reina Gonzalez, right? Yeah.
yeah, they announced before the match that this would be her final outing before heading out to Florida, which is their development spot, right? Um, so yeah, bro. I mean, we don't have much stops. I mean, last time we came here, the fucking power went out because they were holding it at a skating rink, and everyone had their cell phones out trying to light the ring for them. It was a whole fucking shit show. So we had cold hot dogs and hot sodas being given out at that
Oh, that
area.
sounds delightful, man.
So that's as far as our local scene goes to Daniel. But Daniel's from San Antonio. He says he has a couple of homies in ROW. ROW is a San Antonio promotion. I'm sure you've heard of them. He has some connections in the game too. We got the head honcho of Sweep the League, Rudy in the mix. The only TNA I ever recognize is tits and ass, and not wrestling per se. Man,
No,
TNA on Spike TV was fucking that was puberty city for you, boy. It had
Yeah.
me growing up a lot
Yeah.
quicker than I wanted to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was growing up, like when you were seeing that TNA was actually a wrestling company, for the perverted sick freaks and that think out there with the dirty minds, and I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people. When you hear, oh, TNA, tits and ass, what? So believe me, I totally get it. If somebody came up off the street and said, hey, did you watch TNA? Wait, what? That's a wrestling company?
You mean, did you watch Boob Tube? That's what
Yeah,
we grew
yes,
up watching.
exactly. Yes.
So we had those school nerds and we don't watch that TNA junk, bro. You're watching it for the wrestling. I'm watching it for the bodies. I almost hit a couple people with this line here.
Shut up, bitch.
If you're watching TNA for the wrestling, then you're just not doing it right, bro. You might be
Right.
a little sweet on the side. With that being said, we have Mav in the mix. He's mentioning we need more gender 2.0 slander.
Here we go.
Here we go. Gender 2.0.
All right. Okay. So, I mean, you and me appreciate Gunther. Like we listen. Like I get it. I understand that Gunther may not be everybody's cup of tea because he's a wrestler, and his character is he's a wrestler. He's the ring general. It's about keeping the mat sacred. He's to me, he's unlike anything that WWE has had really pushed to this level in a long time. But my issue is this whole gender thing is Jinder Mahal. If you guys remember Jinder Mahal in 2017, he is responsible for one of the worst main event pushes maybe ever. Like, remember when they were trying to push him as WWE champion on SmackDown because they wanted to go to India, and the guy was so freaking bad that they took the title off of him on a taped SmackDown in London. He was so freaking bad. And Jinder may be a great. I think he might have just gotten married because the old 3MB. Listen, Jinder may be a good guy, and I've heard good things about him from backstage people. Guy was not good. To put Gunther in that classification, I just think is insulting to Gunther. Like, you guys can think of whatever you want about Gunther, but I think he's like universally. And maybe I'm just the one sicko in this chat who actually appreciates good wrestling. But hey, Jinder is better.
Hey, you know what? You know what, Mike? You know what, Mike?
It doesn't matter what you think.
I know. You invited me here, but it doesn't matter what I think. It's your show, so I totally.
I'm just fucking with you, bro. It seems like our boy Chris Leha's in the chat trying to get Mike riled up. Y'all don't know how often we have to separate the two because they're just constantly going at it. The whole.
No, I love Chris. I love Chris, man. Like he's the resident ball buster, and it definitely livens up the chat when you have just a bunch of nonsense going on from every different direction, and I know Leha is not very shy about making an opinion known. So agree to disagree. But it's yeah, like I said, this whole gender 2.0 association. I'm just like, guys, come on.
See, this is where
Everybody's entitled to like who they want. And like we agree. Do you disagree on that? So
in all honesty, Chris is actually admitting it out in public. He's told me on the sidelines. He just said he'll text me. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna stir up the pot a little bit. He says, I know how Edgar reacts when you shit on CM Punk, so Mike kind of gives that same reaction.
I'm a very easy reactionary type thing. This is what makes like the sports media business so like it's. And maybe this is a good jumping off point here for something we could talk about here is like, obviously, I'm in sports media. And one of the big things in sports media, like, the Skip Baylesses, the Colin Cowards, like, the Nick Wrights, all these people that we see. And obviously you guys have your own sport. Opinions drive interest. Sometimes these people are totally full of shit and they will just say things to get engagement, get impressions, and just rile people the fuck up to the point where it's almost pro wrestling. It's like a great heel going into the ring in front of 14,000 people in San Antonio and saying the Spurs suck. Okay, just as an example. And I know that would rile a bunch of people up in here because most of your audience is obviously based in Texas and they're Spurs fans. But it's just the way that they use takes to just drive interest and just to rile people up. Leha knows the game, man. He knows the game, like rile people up and get people pissed off.
So you mentioned the media room. I want to give a quick shout out to my boy Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs. He's also the lead writer for Spurs at Ken's 5, right? He's asking, SIth, where do you see the future of wrestling going towards? Well, Mike, didn't they just announce that they're having some sort of deal made with Fandango, so now we'll be able to watch wrestling events with the families and whatnot at actual movie theaters, bro. I call that progress. It used to be a lot of mom and pop, wrestling shops or local shops that would host events. They'd illegally stream the pay-per-views and they'd set up the projectors or whatnot. But now we have someone like Fandango in the mix, bro. I like where wrestling's going. It's become more cinematic in these past couple years than what it's been. It used to be just a glorified bingo hall sort of event, but I think we're heading on to bigger and better things. I could do without so much celebrity people stepping in, but other than that, I think we're heading on the right path. So yeah. Speaking of celebrities, a lot of people think that's stuff of new. We got, like I said, main man Rudy Campos in the mix. He mentioned David Arquette was a better world champion than Jinder. you know the story behind that, bro. Ready for Rumble had to be one of the worst fucking movies ever created, but man, is it my guilty pleasure.
Oh yeah.
And that's themed off David Arquette got the title off of promotion for that film. And what I respect about David Arquette is that he's a man of the sport. So is Logan Paul. I mean, a lot of people don't want to give him his props, but David Arquette, bro, almost lost his life. What was it, 5 years ago when his death match?
Yeah.
Bro got his throat slit accidentally and still finished the fucking match. That's Dewey from Scream. If y'all don't know who David Arquette is, bro, he's great, bro. He gave his heart all to the sport, and you gotta love shit like that. Travis Scott did the complete opposite. Mike didn't put any fucking time into training. Couldn't cut a promo. Walked out with a fucking blunt.
Did you see what Drew McIntyre said today on Logan Paul's podcast? Did you see that? Like
I kind of read up on it, but what do you say if you could?
Basically, he said Travis Scott had a 6-minute run-in and he basically ruined the fucking main event of WrestleMania. And I was like, Drew is speaking for all of us, man. Like, so many things that went wrong in that match. One of the top things is the fact that we're going to go all the way down the rest of wrestling history and know the fact that John Cena won his historic 17th world championship because of Travis fucking Scott. and he barely got a receipt. He got a Crossroads. And then Cody just I still don't understand how that match, I don't know what their intention was at WrestleMania, but my God. And then obviously The Rock with everything that built up there, that's a whole separate conversation. But yeah, apparently they were trying to do what they're doing with Jelly Roll. They were trying to do something similar with Travis Scott, and they were going to bring him in. And the word going around is he didn't give a shit. he got his publicity, he got the fuck out of there. Like he was just fucking trained. I mean, I think he might have broken, or he might have done something to Cody's jaw at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
You could hear the shot that he gave him. But listen, I'm not for celebs, and listen, I'm generally not the biggest fan of celebs in wrestling, but if a company does it right, it's WWE. And generally, when they invest in it, it turns out really good. And everything that has been talked about and the way that they've built this thing with Jelly Roll, based on the fact that they're doing this with Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul, they've done an unbelievable job of making this genuinely interesting. And Jelly Roll's lost like 200 pounds training at the PC weekly. Guy cares. It's like this is gonna be more like Bad Bunny. And I'm not expecting him to bust out friggin' Canadian destroyers and do like Bad Bunny is on like the Mount Rushmore of
Celebrities.
Like he was like Logan Paul. I don't even really count because he's technically,
He's signed to the company, so
but like, yeah, the Travis Scott thing was just.
what was old dude's name who played Green Arrow? Stephen
Amell. Stephen Amell.
Man,
That's right.
he had one of the best fucking cross body jumps out of the ring too when he made his appearance.
Faced Cody as Stardust, I think, right?
Yes,
I think
sir.
that was what. Yeah, there you go.
Even Johnny Knoxville held his own a couple manias back.
That was hella fun, dude. That was a fun match. Yeah.
Since we're speaking about celebrities, bro, we gotta give a moment of silence to, legendary metal god. I don't know, the Prince of Darkness. Just shout out Ozzy Osbourne, who is a WWE Hall of Famer. So we could give him quick. We'll do 5 seconds moment of silence for old boy, then we'll continue the show. Yeah, shout out Ozzy Osbourne.
Thank you, Ozzy. That was sad. That was sad. Yeah, that was super sad.
My wife texted me. She's like, Ozzy died. And I'm like, I was taking a nap and I'm like, do I know an Ozzy? She's like, Osbourne, dumbass. I was like, oh, I got you. So that's on me. That's on me.
Here's what's crazy. So it's like I told you, I'm in radio. So at my job today, I run the board and I played an intro music. I played Crazy Train coming back in, and literally like 10 minutes later, I found out he died. I was like, what? I mean, and he just had his, like one of his last concerts. So 76 years young, man. Like, and he was still getting it done. It sucks, man. Like, and he had some decent WWE memories. I think somebody rehashed the old, I don't know if you guys remember the Chris Masters where he did like the whole peck dance to Crazy Train, which was one of the weirdest things I've ever. That was one of the weird.
Like, who the hell was here? What the hell was that?
Yeah, that was WWE in 2009 was in a really dark place. So don't remind me about some of that stuff that they were doing back then.
So I think I've held you up enough on the wrestling talk, Mike. I'm gonna let you promote your other stuff, bro. You cover college ball, all these other. Fill us in on your sports endeavor. What do you do? What's your daily job consist of?
So I work at Sirius XM. I've been there for gonna be 7 years in November. And I work covering college sports on College Sports Radio. It's Channel 84. We're heading into college football. That's really one of the big. And I know a lot of Texas Longhorn fans watch this show.
That's a bitch ass.
Yeah. I know there's some Texas Tech Raiders who are probably watching right now. Those are actually, here's what's interesting. And I know, Elias, you're not really into the college game, but if we can kind of do this here. Texas is a very interesting team this year because of Arch Manning, because there's so much unknown. And I think really that's going to tell the story of college football in 2025, 2026, because we just don't know. This guy sat for 2 years behind Quinn Ewers, who ended up being a 7th round pick in the NFL draft. And people are wondering, man, is this guy going to be like, anything close to like, his two uncles? Like, this is Cooper's son. Like, so Arch is a better athlete. He can run. But the question is, like, can he deliver on the field? Because Texas has got like back-to-back college football playoff appearances. They lose to They lose to Ohio State. My family is loaded with a bunch of Buckeyes, even though I live out in California.
Bro,
I have a bunch of
I'm not even a college ball player, and that last pick broke my fucking heart. I'm like,
yeah,
oh.
the Jack Sawyer thing. If you're a Texas fan, you were probably just losing your fucking mind. That was basically. Let me put it to you like this, and I'm crossing over sports. Texas fans seeing Jack Sawyer run that fumble back for a touchdown. That was how I felt when Tyrese Halliburton hit the 3-pointer against my Cleveland Cavaliers. I felt like I got stabbed in the heart about 15 fucking times. But in terms of Texas, they're really interesting because of Arch Manning. And, this is their, really their third. This to me, they should absolutely be playing for a national title if Arch Manning is really that good.
Sure.
And then, Texas Tech is really interesting because they're investing a ton of money. Like they've got Cody Campbell, who's this big, all the oil money. And so one of our mutual friends, Brandon Medina, who kind of connected us together, he's also friends with one of my best friends, Andrew Marks, but they're all Texas Tech alum. And I know Leha is a Texas Tech alum. Like it's great. It's great to see, Texas Tech, especially in the world of college football, where now you can pay these guys and just literally buy a fucking team. It makes the sport. Listen, college sports isn't what it was when I started covering it, but what I think is really interesting about it now is it's become very professional. And, we always lobbied for these student athletes to go out there and get paid because they felt like, hey, they were doing this just basically for fun, but now they're getting paid. The problem is now these guys are being effectively acting like they're mercenaries and they're just going to go to whatever place they want to go to via transfer.
More, right?
Yeah, whoever pays them the most. So, but it's definitely fun doing my day-to-day job because, you get to experience we were all young and we were all once in college, and now you get to see these guys go through the ringers of something that's completely different from when we were in school. Where like when we were in school and we were watching our sports teams or our college teams, depending on I went to a commuter school, so I didn't get to, experience college football on the level of a Texas Tech or a Texas. But to see now these athletes, they're already revered as much as they are. Now they're getting money, they're getting endorsements. None of it's illegal. It's definitely a more fascinating time to cover college athletics, and I really enjoy it. Wrestling balances me out because it sort of loosens me up from my day-to-day job, and that's why I appreciate the chat and I appreciate you guys. It's
appreciate
kind of
the insults too. Just
it's just like I say, it brings me down a peg because like I said, I'm 35 years old, man. I'm getting fucking old. So it's as long you guys keep me young, and it's very entertaining to remind yourself that life is too short. But like I said, my day-to-day job, I really enjoy it. And, that also keeps me young too, because I'm watching these guys go around and they're 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, and they're playing, at the highest level of football. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. So from the outside looking in, like I said, I don't really follow much college ball. You cover that. But I like where it's becoming. I do think they deserve to be paid. I have gotten paid sooner than what these deals happen as of late. I feel like it should have happened sooner rather than later.
Absolutely.
But it's gotten to the point where some of them are acting spoiled, man. So why would we want to make the jump to the NFL when we're getting paid doing what the fuck we're doing here, and we're not going up against huge motherfuckers that are in the NFL? We're not
right. Well, I think what this also does, the whole NIL, the name, image, and likeness thing, is the people that ultimately the people back in the ones who are not going to ultimately make it in the NFL have a reason to stay in college. You see it in college basketball, also in college football. The guys who you don't think are going to end up being a high draft pick, they can come back to school for another year and have incentive to maybe better themselves, but also get paid a decent amount of money. It used to be hey, listen, you stay or you get the fuck out. And it's now a much more intriguing decision to see what these guys want to do, if they want to actually play in college and they value that, or if the dollars make more sense for them there as opposed to like going to the NFL and being potentially due to 50-51 on a 52-53 man roster. So
Yo, so I had a question in regards to that trying to remember, was it the 17th overall pick from this year's draft? He's kind of gotten into some situation with the Jaguars. Could you
Stewart,
could you
yeah.
break down that situation for someone like me who's
So
not
so this is
knowledgeable on?
this is so I've never seen anything like this. My understanding is so his name's Shamar Stewart. He was drafted. I think you said I think he went to Texas
17,
A&M.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he was
Texas A&M
17,
alum.
17 or 18. He went to Texas A&M. He was drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals, and as of this point, I don't think he has signed a contract, which is really, I mean, typically like now we're talking about training camp starting, like the season's starting in what 8 weeks, 7-8 weeks or something like
Something
that.
like that.
So what's happening is this guy, like, I guess this guy wants language in his contract, and Bengals don't want to give it to him in terms of like guaranteed money because they're scared that he might get arrested or something like that, even though this guy doesn't even have a rap sheet. So this guy, I'm really vague on the details, but there was some reporting that he was working out with Texas A&M and was going to go back there. But Mike Elko, the coach at A&M, they had SEC media days last week. He basically said, listen, Shamar is an Aggie, but he ain't coming back. He's getting ready to be in the NFL. Now, what the Cincinnati Bengals are doing is a completely different issue. They're trying to nickel and dime here because they're
Yeah.
a cheap ass organization. Yet, hey, you paid T. Higgins a bunch of money, you paid Jamar Chase a bunch of money, you paid Joe Burrow a bunch of money, and you're getting by basically on those guys' talent. And then, hey, you can't pay a top 20 pick who you drafted, and you want to try and nickel and dime him for guarantees because you're scared that he might get himself into trouble. Guys, the Browns, my team, drafted Quinshon Judkins out of Ohio State in the second round. That guy got arrested for domestic assault recently, like in the last week. It happens.
It
These guys
happened.
are young. These guys are young people. You can't just nickel and dime and manipulate the system. And the reason why this situation has gotten so weird is because there is a potential avenue. If he wanted to go get a waiver from the NCAA, it's not illegal to go back to college. Like it's that barrier of signing an agent or getting paid outside that was broken down with this whole NIL era. So from what I've gathered, he's going to probably be in the NFL. Whether or not the Bengals want to sign him or not, that's up to them. So
Yeah, because they were talking about him possibly there was some type of, how can I say that? I know there's a way he could re-enter the draft, right? Is that what
right.
you're
Yeah, and I
speculating
mean, and
to?
you could do this, in baseball. Like baseball, sometimes, like baseball does it way differently. You have like slots where you have to pay a certain amount of money,
Yeah.
and sometimes if you don't sign the guy will just go ahead and re-enter the draft. In baseball, I don't know how this. I've never seen this happen in football or in basketball. I've never seen a guy, flat out just not sign with the team that he went to and just re-enter the draft and go to a different team. That's also potentially on the table. It would be certainly a choice by the Bengals, basically saying, yeah, they're already having issues with Trey Hendrickson,
Yeah.
trying to sign him. And this guy's a defensive lineman too. And you're not going to sign him. Like what's going on here? So it's just,
They're
it's a,
just
it's a mess.
they're just a fucking cheap organization at
Yeah.
the
They're
end
a
of the
poverty
day, man.
franchise. Don't
So
even get me
Mike,
started.
head honcho over here at Sweep the League, Rudy Campos says, "Man, we need Mike on sweeps." There you go, bro. You have an open invitation to
Okay.
the main show, Sweep the League. Rudy Campos, they cover everything from sports, everything in sports, not
I'm an
just
open book, man. Like I enjoy talking sports. I enjoy talking wrestling. It's just like I said, that's why initially when I started my YouTube channel, I wanted it to be about wrestling, but then, I realized, man, I have some decent sports opinions and I go all over the place. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm knowledgeable in all the other bullshit, right? When it comes to wrestling, my knowledge is pretty high. Dallas Cowboys, I could talk Cowboys with the best of them. I got
uh,
tagged into the Area 210 podcast earlier this morning. They were having technical difficulties, and they said if I wanted in case the other co-host couldn't make it, they let me on the show, and we ranted about the fucking Cowboys for about an hour or so. That's a shit show. If you want to talk about a shit show, that's a shit show when it comes to the ownership, bro. Let's get to some of these comments, and we'll continue the conversation. Wade's World says, "I think I figured out the chat. What's up, guys? Go Guards."
Is that the Guardians, man? I mean, we know my boy Edgar, man. My boy Edgar. We unite over favorite Indians player of all time. And I'll read this one. I always loved Omar Vizquel. And also, Jim Thome. Those were two of my favorites growing up. And I think I still have a Kenny Lofton bobbleheads around here somewhere in my apartment. But the golden days of Cleveland Indians Guardians baseball. And let's be real, guys. Our president's trying to change their name back. I've
Your
grown
president.
into yes,
With you.
yes,
I'm just
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
with you.
I don't want to take ownership of him, but yeah, it's just listen, like I could give a crap what he wants to do. Me and my dad's given me my love of Cleveland sports because like my family's from there. For those who don't know, and I'm a West Coaster my whole life, but I grew up with the Cleveland Indians. I understood the name change, but this whole idea of trying to use it as a political talking point is really just
Stupid
dumb.
as fuck,
It's
bro.
it's really dumb. Like the whole Commanders thing. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? You could give two shits about what's going on with those teams. He couldn't even get the ownership right for the Guardians. He named the donor wrong. He named the freaking owner wrong. Matt Dolan doesn't exist. Okay, so no, but it's good to know that there's some other Guardians fans in here. Freaking Edgar, it's amazing what connections can do for you through this whole thing. Me and Edgar have now bonded over, the Cleveland Guardians. It's great, and there's also good to see, some other people here in the chat that are appreciating, a good baseball team that still needs to win a fucking world championship at some point.
Well, bro, if you haven't read the context clues, that is our boy Edgar in the chat. He's Wade's World. He's the one saying "fuck TKO" as well.
Okay.
That kind of gave it away,
I was wondering if that was somebody different.
Me too. It took me a while to click. I was like,
I was like, I didn't see the fuck
it.
TKO, but it's like, yeah, okay. What up, Edgar? I mean, we
What's up,
talk.
Edgar?
Yeah,
No,
CM Punk and the Cleveland Guardians brought me and Edgar together, man. How about that?
How
A
about you
guy
show
from Los Angeles and a guy from San Antonio. How about that?
How about you show some love to the other guy from San Antonio who brought us together, Mike? I know you had some stories about our boy Brandon Medina you wanted to share with the chat.
So yeah, Brandon, it's a crazy story actually. I think I mentioned this earlier. So Brandon knows my friend Andrew Marks, and they went to college together at Texas Tech, and so Andrew and I connected through a mutual friend, one of my best friends, who grew up out here in California, and so we all kind of linked up, and it led, one thing led to another, and it, hey, me and Brandon kind of connected. We did a couple podcasts during COVID, and then obviously, we started doing, these spaces and stuff. Brandon came out here a couple years ago for WrestleMania, which was great with his friend Michael. Rest in peace. That was a really sad thing. Like Michael, if you guys knew his friend Michael, that guy is the epitome of why pro wrestling is so great. The joy that man had when we were at WrestleMania, when John Cena came out or when Roman Reigns came out, it was infectious. So like being able to experience that and also to just have, Brandon out there with his father and, and his stepfather, it was really cool to experience that. So, yeah, Brandon and I have bonded over, sports stuff. And, obviously we have a similar pathway in terms of the broadcasting world. It's cool that, and hey, connected us, man. It connected us, man. So that's what's cool, man.
Yeah, that seems to be the reoccurring theme is wrestling and sports. It brought us all together. Like Edgar and I, or Chris Leha and I, actually bonded together over the Spurs, and Edgar was quite the opposite. He wasn't very fond of my Spurs takes. I wasn't too fond of him. And that's one mouthy motherfucker who I learned to love. He's one of my best friends, honestly. Edgar could be a little on edge at times. He doesn't always agree with what we say, but that's what it is when you have a friendship. Mike, I think you want to plug your YouTube
Yeah.
page.
OT Mike Sports, if you want to go there. Off the Mike Sports Network is where my stuff is at. And And I could potentially try to drop a link here in the chat potentially if you guys. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can potentially drop that. Hold on a second.
I see. I don't know what you expect from me, Mike, but I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No. It should have posted. I put OT Mike Sports.
Yeah. OT Mike's at OT Mike Sports, and then at it, and my Twitter handles up there at off the mic 28. But yeah, no, we have a good time over there. I mean, AEW fans fucking hate me because I'm just real. I'm just real. I mean, Elias, you've known me for like a year, man. Like I am nothing if not very real. And
no, for sure.
Sometimes that gets people on their P's and Q's, and like they get upset at me. But it's just like I just get annoyed when you can't have an opinion without it being like some sort of travesty of injustice. And that's the whole thing. It's like everybody seems to like take everything so damn personally. So but like I said, I enjoy having the chat. I enjoyed the X Spaces. It kind of revitalized. I honestly have to give the chat, and I have to give you, Brandon, all the people in the X Spaces. You're a big inspiration as to why I wanted to revitalize and actually start talking more wrestling and more bullshit, because I tried doing the podcast before. I got burnt out a little bit. And then, we met up on a space after I think it was after like a Raw or a SmackDown after Money in the Bank last year.
Yeah.
And we just bullshitted with each other for an hour. And I was like, man, this is fun. This is fun. And so, and that's why wrestling is great. And that's why I get annoyed with some people just, the AEW schmucks out there who will just like, try to just make this some sort of a contest. It's like, just enjoy your product and stop trying to like, compete against somebody else.
Hey, if you like that WWE product that jumped the shark many, many years ago, then absolutely you. Shout out my boy Sam Salinas.
I'll say this.
Go ahead.
I'll say this, Sam. When Vince McMahon was in control, that place was just so off the wall. It's definitely in a rocky place right now with all the TKO stuff, and some of the creative is, hit and miss with WWE. But when Vince McMahon was in control, specifically in the last 3 to 4 years that he was running things like 18, 19, and then obviously 20, 21, 22, or so, like 4 or 5 years, it was so bad, man. It was so bad. It was so awful.
Man, we had the corniest shit happen, and let's not bring up the whole, what was it, the Thunderdome era, bro. That almost ruined WWE.
I commend them for at least trying to, put on entertainment when, everybody was freaking out for their lives during COVID. But the combination of, it did give us the Tribal Chief, which is great. But
but it also gave us Rey Mysterio's murder scene,
Oh yeah. The famous eye for an eye match. I mean,
the eye for the eye match. Then he got tossed out of the
side note
building.
If you guys remember back in the day, Buddy Murphy, who is now famously Mr. Rhea Ripley, that guy was fraternizing and kayfabe, going out with Aaliyah Mysterio, who was like 10 years younger than him.
Wild.
Dom's sister. Like, that was weird, man. There was some weird shit going on during the Thunderdome era.
I'm telling you, bro, it was a shit show. The circus, it gets praised a lot. Vince McMahon had his time in the game. What he did, giving us the products he did at times were goated per se. Triple H hasn't lived up as high to the expectations that we've put it on him yet. It's getting there with the partnership with TKO. It's really set them back quite a bit. Him not having complete creative control kind of sucks, Mike. And they're kind of pricing out the actual fans, bro. Those fucking ticket prices are ridiculous. You almost have to be sure to have an Affirm or a fucking Klarna ready to go so you could make your monthly payments if you want to watch them. And Lord forbid you want to buy a fucking shirt at the event, Because if you're walking in with less than $50, you ain't getting shit, bro. You're better off picking up some napkins and autographing them hoes yourself.
I went to WrestleMania 39 here in LA, and I think I paid like 200 $300 for a combo ticket. I wanted to go to WrestleMania this year, and Brandon was going to come out here to do that in Vegas. 700 to sit up in the upper tank, man.
Up
Like it was
there with Eddie Guerrero.
yeah, up in the heavens, man. Like shit. Like and then Money in the Bank was like $300. Like the Netflix premiere was like $300 just to go to Intuit Dome out here in LA. It's like, listen, I understand the whole notion of supply and demand. Like, I mean, they had a sold out 14,000 seat arena in Houston last night for Monday Night Raw, which is incredible. Like they're drawing still, but part of the issue is everything's getting too expensive. And a lot of the creative that was really good, that gave us a lot of goodwill, like, when Cody finished his story and like, obviously, the CM Punk McIntyre stuff, like all that stuff. It seems like, I'm not saying that Triple H has kind of lost a step, but it almost feels like they're kind of like coasting a little bit and kind of just, they're kind of just, going through the motions. Like, we're going back to Cody and Cena again. Hey, they made it a street fight. How are they going to spice that up a little bit to make it a little bit interesting? I don't know. Is Seth Rollins really hurt? Is it a work? Is it a shoot? That would certainly be something a little bit different because a lot of us wanted LA Knight to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. But yeah, the TKO surge pricing thing is definitely an issue because it's definitely, I'm not going to say it's made AEW at least somewhat more desirable, but it's sort of leveled out the playing field a little bit because AEW is a little bit more affordable. They have a lot of similar stars. It's just their booker is an idiot and is a mark. Like Tony Khan's a freaking mark. So he's
what I like to call a cuck.
Yes. I mean, there you go. There you go.
So we have Sam Salinas who rebutted on his last tweet, right? He said, "Here's my take on it. I've never heard it. We're in the social media era, a time where the superstars are more concerned with their characters being social media influencers and wrestlers." What's your take on that?
I mean, it's a totally fair point. It's totally a fair point. It's not a lot of what is drawing, interest in terms of WWE is not so much their shows, it's their social media content. It's like, they'll pump out all the numbers in the world about, oh, they're trending number 1 on X, or hey, Roman Reigns
video has 3 million views.
Roman Reigns' return had like, this many hits on TikTok, YouTube, and X or whatever. Like it's definitely the society and the way, people consume wrestling content. Like sometimes people don't want to sit through a 2.5 hour Raw and they'll just watch the clips, which is totally understandable. And I think, some way wrestling has kind of migrated to that to make things more digestible. So that way you kind of understand the little ins and outs of what's going on. So that's a completely valid point. That's a completely valid point that social media has kind of like, I'm not going to say infested, but it's definitely made, because listen, we can knock on Logan Paul all we want. He can be entertaining, but listen, in the grand scheme of things, he sells, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like, we shouldn't be focusing so much inordinate amounts of time on like, him when, you've got other talented people. Cause I know a lot of people are mad with this jelly roll celebrity thing and, appealing to social media and trying to get like, mainstream attention. Whereas there's a guy like Carmelo Hayes who's being tucked away in catering and that guy's fucking talented as hell and he can't get on television. So
yeah, shit. That's what I was telling you earlier. I'm not really a big fan of the celebrity spots, especially when they come with, when to sacrifice their place, we're losing the likes of a Carmelo Hayes on the big card, a Ray Phoenix, people in that nature. I'm surprised they have Andrade coming up, bro. Like that surprised the hell out of me. Sam Salinas says 2002, friends and I spent the night in front of Ticketmaster Warehouse Music for SmackDown. Second row on the aisle, tickets for no more than $30, if I remember correctly. Talk about a damn good deal.
Yes.
Mike, we have our boy Mario Cavazos in the mix, and he's asking, The Iron Claw or The Wrestler?
Well,
Which film do you prefer?
for full disclosure, I have not seen Iron Claw yet.
Oh man,
By default, I go with The Wrestler. I do think Mickey
you're
Rourke.
you're miss you're missing
No,
out.
I need to see it. Yes, because I heard it was really good. I mean, obviously, MJF. By the way, MJF's getting around, man.
Oh, bro,
MJF,
MJF was in the movie for
MJF,
like 2 seconds.
yeah, he's in the movie for like 2 seconds, but yeah, he's gonna be Happy Gilmore's son, dude. He's gonna be
And
Happy
Becky
Gilmore.
Lynch is in the mix too. That's Happy Gilmore's daughter.
Nikki Bella is going to be in that movie. Bad Bunny's going to be in that movie. There's going to be a bunch of WWE people or WWE affiliated people or celebrities in that movie. And then obviously you've got the AEW guy, which and MJF.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. So my wife and I, she kind of talked to me about. I took her to go see the Iron Claw when it first came out. She doesn't like wrestling. She has absolutely no knowledge when it comes to wrestling history. And so once the brothers started dying off, she's like, "Oh my God, why would you bring me to see this?" We had got into the second Von Erich, and she's like, "That's it, right?" I'm like, "Well, there's one more." And then after the film ended, I told her, "You know what? There was actually another Von Erich who didn't make the cut because they didn't want this movie to be overly tragic." And she's like, "What do you mean? We saw the deaths of so many people." And I was like, "Girl, I don't know what to tell you." It had to be maybe 2 months ago. I think I posted that I was watching The Wrestler as well. And again, she's like, "You're telling me he has a heart attack at the end of the movie and he fucking dies too? Do any of these wrestlers ever survive the film?" And I was kind of like, "Well, do you want to see Ready to Rumble? But then
Yeah.
if you want a happy ending, you're gonna have to see some corny ass shit like that."
Yes.
But
By the way, John Cena was in Ready to Rumble.
yeah,
John Cena was an extra in Ready
yeah,
to
he was
Rumble.
an extra during the gym scene where they're walking around.
And
You could see
Goldberg,
him,
yeah.
with
Yeah.
Goldberg, you could see him push bench pressing. Because the only celebrity spot, in my opinion, that worked and entertaining was Mike Tyson with the DX Stone Cold angle.
It was a good end to a WrestleMania, man. That was a good end to a WrestleMania. Like you get him involved in like, that whole thing. I think it was Stone Cold. What was it? What was that 13? No, I think it was 4. That had to have been 14, I think.
14. Yeah, then we had the Dennis Rodman spot too. Got his ass cut from the team, if I'm not mistaken, for skipping.
Didn't Karl Malone do something in WCW? I think Karl Malone might have joined the NWO or something like that.
Man, just recently we have fucking Snoop Dogg saving the day when
I was in the building for that. Like, and we like I'm sitting up in my seats with Brandon and our group. And we see Shane go up for the leapfrog, and we just see him fall down to the mat. I'm like, "What the fuck just happened?" And it's just like Shane was so hyped up, man. He just tore his quad, just tore his damn quad. And Snoopy, and then like I think the ref just tells him to go home, and I was just like, "Man, Snoop is a trooper, man."
Like Snoop, he's like, "What do you want me to do?" They're like, "Give him the people's elbow. That's all you got to do, Snoop. Make it work, brother." So
I mean,
our boy Mav's in the mix. His Iron Claw is insane. The weird thing is they had to tone it down because the real life story was so unbelievable. I watched WCCW growing up. Yeah, I bet you did with your old ass. We got Sam Selena saying, "Ready to Rumble classic." Bro, I always quote, "You broke my Butterfinger, baby," and no one knows where that come from. It's like, come on, they're outside of the hospital.
Well, the whole thing. The whole thing where he gets an extra slushy, he sticks his finger in his butt.
Yeah,
like, dude.
Fucking classic.
That movie was so fucking fucked, man. Like Arquette,
I have that video saved on my phone just when people want to come at me for my wrestling shit, where Arquette's yelling, "Wrestling's not fake" to his dad.
Wrestling's not fake.
Sorry about that. Right after, or that guy with the super fan, they visit him. He has the whole wrestling arcade in the.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
He's like, "Keep it down. My dad says wrestling's for pussies." Classic, bro.
It's amazing that movie came out like 25. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a stupid movie, but like you said, it's like a guilty pleasure. Like it's like it's 25. I think it's been like 25 years since that movie came out. Like holy mackerel,
man! And talk about promotion. I still can't believe they put the fucking title on David Arquette.
Like there is promotion. There is promotion, and then there's doing that. Because that is like, if that happened today with social media and you had like a mainstream actor go into the ring with say like, if they go into the ring with Cody Rhodes, and or hell, Gunther for the sake of argument. You imagine if somebody walked in there and just won the world title to promote their album or something or promote their movie. Like, my God.
Man, I think the last chance for him to do that might have been when the 24/7 championship was around, but
Yeah.
I'm just tired of these celebrity spots. Yeah.
They have a
Yeah.
2-night they have a 2-night show to build, so and like I said, I will give them credit where credit is due. In like a span of a week, they've made that Jelly Roll Randy Orton versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre match really interesting. Dude, if Mav, don't put that evil in here, man. Do not put that evil on us. Travis Scott being the WWE champion would have been like, he already ruined a main event of WrestleMania, dude. If Travis Scott would win the WWE championship, like WWE might, like the fan base might spontaneously combust. Like, holy shit. That's legitimately one of the worst booking decision ideas. Don't ever put that evil in our minds.
Mav, you know what, Mav?
You should know your role and shut your mouth.
always bringing up the dumbest fucking takes, but I love my boy Mav, bro. He's always willing to debate, even though most of the time he's just talking just to talk. But that's kind of what we all do. We're all heels when it comes to
Right.
the end of it. I would never justify myself or label myself as the good guy in any situation, bro. I run off SIth for a reason, But yeah, anything you want to plug, Mike, before we gone? We kind of went over a bit.
I mean, well, no, we're just two dudes bullshit, man. Like, no, like I said, obviously SummerSlam coming up. We'll have a lot of wrestling content over on my channel. Appreciate the subscribe. Appreciate, like, above all else, man, thank you for the invite. It's great to, like I said, doing this type of stuff or doing the chat is the reason why I've been doing the YouTube channel. And this is what makes wrestling so great. It's just the interaction, the camaraderie, even if we don't like or agree or, have different opinions, no matter if you're in Texas, you're in New York, or you're in Los Angeles like me. Like, we can just all get along from miles away. And so thank you very, very much for like the opportunity to come on here. Like I said, we're going to have a lot of great stuff. Hopefully we can do some crossover stuff on my channel, because I very much appreciate you inviting me over here, man. Like, it means a lot.
I'm always down for it, Mike. You know where to reach me at, bro. I'm just a call away. Just one call. Now I'm playing. I ain't a fucking singer. Y'all thought y'all were gonna get that side of me. Y'all tripping. But yeah, that's been Mike Mayer from the Off the Top Rope. That's his wrestling show. Off the Mic sports channel on YouTube. Go ahead and search that up. If you guys are having trouble finding it, I'll go ahead and plug it on both of my X pages. Next week's the return of the main man. We're gonna have Rudy Campos in the mix. It's gonna be a themed episode. We're gonna talk about restaurant etiquette, just public etiquette in general, because we have, especially when it comes to like tipping culture and all that bullshit, we have a lot of fucking opinions and all that. So y'all be sure to like and subscribe to PTS_TV 2025 so y'all can be a part of the chat. Mike, you're welcome back anytime, brother. Just let me know when.
No. I would love to do this again, man. This was fun. Thanks.
Well, yeah, bro. That's pretty much it. Y'all make sure to show my boy some love on the way out. Like and subscribe to his channel. Like and subscribe to mine if you haven't yet. And y'all have a good night. God bless.